Kristen Ritter's Jessica Jones is the one defender the MCU can't bring back. What? Screen rant. There might be one rant too many for me. I guess we just gonna have to agree to disagree. But that's what's coming up on your next Hot One News. Yeah, we're gonna have to get into this right after this.
UnitedComicsUniverse.
A universe for fans.
From pages to pictures, we are comics.
This is another Hot One. Hear all about it. Read all about it. Let's be all about it. Hot One. Yeah. Welcome back. Your dog JoninSho back at you again. Yeah, I'm not liking what I'm hearing here. This was coming from one of my favorite spots, ScreenRant.com. That's ScreenRant.com. Say it again, ScreenRant.com. Yeah, it's coming from them, but this might be one rant too many because I really don't agree with this one. I'm not sure what they were thinking, but let's get into this and let us know how you feel about this one, definitely, because it don't sound right to me. Makes me a little suspicious, wonder if something going on in the background, you know what I'm saying, that they ain't telling us about, and they trying to cover it up by making it seem like Jessica Jones isn't right to be coming back. You know what I'm saying? Makes no sense to me. This look like it's full of holes. But let's shoot it to pieces, shall we? Okay, Kristen Ritter's Jessica Jones is the #1 defender the MCU can't bring back. Boo! Nobody want to hear that because it's bullshit. Okay. While Kristen Ritter was perfectly cast, yes she was, as the haunted, heavy-drinking vigilante, Jessica Jones bringing her back into the MCU would be a mistake. This one's by Matthew Leach, published about 2 days ago. Yeah. I really don't understand what they're saying here, but I'm gonna continue on, but I'm gonna have to definitely interject probably a lot. And then we got some comments from a fellow UCU ninja here that serves you. My goodness. Getting Kristen Ritter to reprise her role from Jessica Jones and the Defenders in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, while seeming inevitable, would not be a good idea, as the MCU starts to draw on its back catalog of Netflix characters. It's almost a given that the beer-swilling sarcastic superhero will turn up in either film or TV, while reintroducing Charlie Cox's Daredevil in Spider-Man No Way Home proved that the Defenders could successfully be transferred to the wider MCU. Disney should steer clear of bringing back Jessica Jones. Yeah, Matthew, I don't think I agree with you here, buddy. I'm not sure what you're going with this one. It was a stroke of genius to cast Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones. The actress fully embodied the wit and wry humor of the character, and through 3 seasons, the show presented the story of Jessica from start to finish. No, it did not finish. How in the hell are you going to say that Jessica Jones' story finished? Episode what? Final episode was episode 13. No way. The very last thing we see is, surprise, Purple Man's not dead. She's about to leave to go to Mexico. What'd she do? She turned around and stay in New York because because Purple Man basically just communicated, we're just messing with her again like he do when he's around. So obviously that means Purple Man's still alive. So, and we definitely want that fantastic villain back because he was amazing. But the guy who played him, yeah, he was astonishing, unbelievable talent. And if I remember right, episode 13, really you need Jessica Jones to complete so many different stories. Luke Cage's story, because ultimately they get together and have a child. Daredevil, she's a PI and a super, so Daredevil be needing her to do things for him, and she's one of the only people that Daredevil even trusts after Defenders. You know, Daredevil, he don't trust many people, and when they did Defenders, you know, she actually became somebody that he actually trusts. And then you got what? She-Hulk. She's a lawyer, of course. You know, lawyers need PIs sometimes, I guess, based on what we've been seeing in the Marvel Netflix series, so forth, like Hogarth, which is a phenomenal character. Man, don't get me started on how many awesome characters I want to see what happened with. But okay, Purple Man's still alive. That's one. Luke Cage. The last thing the character Luke Cage did in the entire, what they're calling it now, the Defenders saga, was go visit Jessica Jones. That's the last thing he did. That's the last time anything was filmed. Last time we saw anything with Luke Cage is he went to visit Jessica Jones, and they talked about like insinuating on what's going on, and she going through a lot right now. And he basically said to her what he's doing now, and he would hope that somebody would stop him if he ever go too far, because he's leading that nightclub now and everything like that, and he's in a lot of criminal element. So there's no telling how it may influence him. And so that pretty much told Jessica Jones, if you care about me, if I go too far, you will come and stop me. So that's where his story is going to be picking up. So why in the hell would Jessica Jones not be involved in that? You see what I'm saying? And then another great part I like, we've seen Hellcat pretty much fully become, this part of her character. She went on to the raft. I would definitely like to see more of that character, because it was great. And then you got the character Eric Gelden. He was the guy who had the pains in his head when he come around evil, but superheroes relieve it and make him actually feel euphoric around superheroes or whatever. He feels great with them. Well, before Jessica Jones was leaving New York, she was going to try and go to Mexico before, the Purple Man stuff happened, and she stopped and came back. She set Eric Gelden, in the comics he's known as Mindwave or whatever. Guy named Mindwave. I don't know if you know much about that character. Maybe we should throw something up about it. Not sure. But she set him up with a detective, the detective she was working with, and so that he can help detect villains or whatever, and that will give him opportunity to, in Jessica Jones' eyes, redeem himself so that she can trust Eric Gelden Mindwave. But it's go see it. Watch season 3, and you will see that it's plenty of reasons to have this character in the MCU. And if you bring in the Netflix characters back, why are you going to take the second most popular character and not bring that one back, but you're going to bring the other ones back? That doesn't make any sense to me. So it's highly suspicious. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're just trying to make us seem like it's not going to happen so that they can, examine the hype, see if it's something they want to do or not. But it's not making any sense. So I have to point out the hypocrisy of it, because it's ridiculous. Jessica Jones is very important, almost as important as Daredevil to be in the MCU, because She-Hulk, she's going to be leading the superhero division, and a PI and plus She-Hulk and Jessica Jones got a lot of time in the comics with each other. That don't mean they have to be in the MCU, of course, but they were even on the A-Force together, which is an Avengers team of all females. But Jessica Jones is such a rich and great character, so just a character you can get deeply interested in, just like Daredevil. She can't go anywhere. It wouldn't make any sense. But we'll let them know. No, the fans will let them know. Moving right along back into this article, because I could go all day with that. Netflix split from Disney prior to Jessica Jones season 3, and the showrunners knew this could be the last outing for the vigilante and the last opportunity to fill the gaps in Jessica's story. Not true. All they did was create gaps. They didn't fill any gaps. The same can't be said for the other Defenders. Luke Cage hadn't yet settled into his role as Harlem's conflicted crime boss. Of course he didn't, and the last thing he asked was what? Jessica Jones, please help me if I don't do this right. Danny Rand's journey to understanding the Iron Fist wasn't complete, correct, and Matt Murdock was left with more story to tell, and so was Jessica Jones. You see what I'm saying? It makes no sense what they're saying. That's why I know this is something not right with this. But it's just their opinion, and my opinion is, this is a bunch of malarkey. Out of the group, Daredevil is the only character with a clear MCU future, with his No Way Home cameo and Disney Plus reboot in the works. But he likely won't be the last. Definitely not. And Jessica Jones will be one of the ones to come back. She has to be. And besides, Kristen Ritter would be pretty upset, because she was extremely excited about coming to do this. And that's the last thing she said. And she says she has a jacket in the closet, Jessica Jones, and she can't wait to wear it again, and really hoped to be back involved with the show. She even directed an episode or so. Maybe even produced. I'm not even sure. I don't remember seeing her on a producer credit, but I seen her on a director credit. Jessica Jones can't be brought back into the MCU because her storyline came full circle. In the ever-crowded Marvel universe, it's unlikely Kristen Ritter would be given the space to add anything new. Really? Really? All she does is add stuff new. Yeah, you need, whoever wrote this, whatever this guy's name, you need to go back and watch Jessica Jones, because you don't know what you're talking about, buddy. You can get that by normal people, but not the Jessica Jones fans like myself. While it was clear that Jessica Jones was ready to end, no, it was not clear. You see what I'm saying? This is crazy. This wasn't the case with Daredevil, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage, wrapped up their latest seasons. So how is her story wrapped up when the last thing you see is her ultimate enemy, Purple Man, Kilgrave, who she thought was dead, turns out to be alive. And she literally turns around to go toward him. Yeah, that's a hard sell right there. The door was open for more, and it was clear there needed to be more. Kristen Ritter herself, oh look at this, they're going to use one of her old comments probably. Kristen Ritter herself said, via Collider, we got to really make sure that we were closing out her storyline and completing her journey in a way that felt very Jessica. Nope. If she even said that, I've never heard of it. Not that I follow everything she says, but I've never heard of that. And it couldn't have been recent, because the most recent thing she said in regards to is that she would love to come back, and she's basically ready. She's geared up to do it, and she really loves the character of Jessica Jones. So she sounded like she would fight for that character a little if she had to, or maybe she wasn't willing to fight, and that's why they didn't go with her. Maybe they didn't go with her, and they're trying to sell her basically sell the point of not needing her story, which is no point at all, because it's not true. When Jessica Jones was first introduced, she was haunted by her time spent under the control of Kilgrave, David Tennant. That's his name. Phenomenal. I need to remember that name. In Jessica Jones season 1, she killed him, ridding herself of one demon and ticking off the first of many boxes that culminated in the complete character arc by the end of season 3. That's such lies. She didn't finish Kilgrave off. The last thing is she's going after Purple Man because he's not dead. By the end of season 3, Jessica had run the gauntlet of discovering the genius of her powers and defeating all her in-season enemies. There were very few questions left to answer, and it's hard to argue that it could be necessary to reintroduce Jessica in any future project other than a cameo. Nonsense. That would be really ridiculous to just release her in a cameo, because if you do her in a cameo, you really need to release her, period, because when they see that cameo, people are going to go look into the character and find out how phenomenal it is and how many loose ends we saw all throughout season 3. And let me explain this to you. What they showed on Netflix was the origin story of these characters. I think by each one of them's trilogy, they were supposed to come into who they truly are. But instead of finishing that first, they went and did Defenders. They should have did that first, then formed Defenders, but I guess they had to do what they had to do. So, no. In fact, she would not even call herself a hero or accept anyone calling her a hero until the end of season 3, episode 13. Come on now. In this episode, they showed an article or something on a newspaper that said she was a hero, like bona fide hero. And for the first time, she actually agreed with him. She like, yeah, because after dealing with her sister, Patsy Hellcat or whatever, after dealing with her and saw the extremes that she went to, I felt like she came to grips with what she actually was. She is a hero because she will not go as far as Hellcat went. And she felt like that helped her understand of what a hero actually is. And then her success dealing with her and helping people the way she was helping them, and then the city put out an article that she's a bona fide hero. She believed it. She accepted, yeah, I am a hero. You see what I'm saying? She just became the superhero Jessica Jones, aka Jewel, aka the Nitrous. That's good stuff too. We might go into some of that maybe. Yeah, so don't tell me a story ended when it just begun. Those 3 seasons was the forming of her character. How about put her in a movie? How about that? Even though we would love to see her appear more in television as well. In comparison, Daredevil still has Bullseye waiting in the wings. Oh, and I guess you don't have Purple Man waiting in the wings, huh? Ridiculous! And Iron Fist looks set to introduce Orson Randall as the show's next villain. The other Defenders still have battles to fight, and reintroducing them is not only the right thing to do, but also essential. Yeah, actually, Jessica Jones is more essential than Luke Cage and Iron Fist. So, I don't know what you're talking about. And do you really think after the events of the Defenders, she's not going to have to deal with the Hand? The Hand is going to be coming after her. Because they, the Hand don't, that's how they are. They don't play like that. They will come after you until they end you. Or until there's no more of them left. Jessica Jones was a psychological character study, complete with not one, but 2 complicated, compelling villains. Kilgrave and Patricia Trish Walker. She dealt with her past, her family trauma, and the dissolution of her relationship with Trish. The audience doesn't need to know what happens next. Really? We don't need to know that what happened is Purple Man really dead or not? Because he just shown himself to potentially not be dead after she finally came to grips with him being gone in season 2. Turns out at the end of season 3, he's not gone. Come on now. And she actually smiled. She don't even smile much, but she even starts smiling because she understood that she was a hero. On the other hand, Luke Cage needs to prove that he wouldn't become a criminal after inheriting Harlem's Paradise. That's right. He needs to prove that. And Jessica Jones is supposed to be there if he doesn't. Iron Fist needs to explain his double Iron Fist, and Daredevil simply fit into the MCU through Spider-Man's legal need. While there's still room for more adventure, short of completely new season or the return of the Defenders, Jessica Jones can't be brought back for a brief cameo. Can't be? Jessica Jones can't be brought back, really? For a brief cameo or a reduced role. It would be doing her a disservice and could risk damaging the great work done developing her character. No, not at all. It's actually going to look bad not bringing her back, because all the people who was wanting to see what happened next will not get to see that. And there was a whole lot of gaps, a whole lot of loose ends. It wasn't like Logan. When you watch Logan, you feel like that was the end. That was very well done. You don't want to mess with that. That's why they didn't even bring those characters back. And if they do bring them back, from what the things I've read, they plan on being a different version of those characters, because the actors that portrayed the role and the creators of Logan felt like, that was a perfect end that they don't want to mess with. This is not that situation. But this guy talking about it will be doing her a disservice and could risk damaging the great work done developing her character. No, not even close. Makes no sense. Total opposite. It would damage the other characters not bringing her back. That's what it would do. Because everybody gonna be like, where the hell is Jessica Jones? That's what everybody's going to be doing. So yeah, that's from Screen Rant, but as you can see, I do not agree with it for many reasons. That's only a few that I can even remember, but it's a vast, insurmountable amount of reasons for Jessica Jones to be returning, even more than some of the other characters. Daredevil number 1, Jessica's number 2. Come on now. Number 3 would have to be Luke Cage, and then Iron Fist. You need to bring them all back. We need to see the rest of the Defender saga. See, the thing is, these Netflix Marvels were so amazing. The entire cast and story so rich, so captivating, that even the minor characters have an in-depth story. You can feel these characters, you know who they are, you understand their struggle, the way they living. They not minor characters. Even the detective, you see him sometimes, but you feel, captured by that character, because every character was given an understandable presentation where you can get into and understand that character and want to see what's going on with them, how they're going to interact. Come on now. And they did that with all of these series. They're fantastic, especially Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. And Iron Fist too, really. Even the Punisher was amazing. Amazing. Yeah, I don't want to get started on that either. But UCU Family Ninja, Mama Nin, actually has something to say about it. This is, and I quote, her letter of disagreement with this article. Jessica Jones still has plenty to do. So things have been said about Jessica Jones that argue that she no longer needs to be brought into the MCU. After reading over everything, it's hard to not see the flaws in their logic. For example, at one point it said that her story has come full circle during the Netflix series Jessica Jones. This is pretty incorrect, as there were several loose ends left, like I said, in the series, which made more than enough of an opening for a continuation. I agree. If anything, the series only covered a type of coming of age story where she goes from being lost and broken to her developing into being a hero, exactly. While it covered her origins and let the viewers watch her grow into the Defender she had become by the end of Defender series, there is much more to be explored. During her residency in the Netflix Marvel Universe, several important plot lines had been wrapped up, but there were others left to be resolved, and at least one that has brought her into a long-term relationship. And I'm sure she means Luke Cage. And it isn't just her relationship with Luke Cage. Oh, one of these situations that stand out the most is the fact that due to her involvement in the Defender series, there is no way that the Hand would just forget about her. The Hand doesn't leave loose ends and are more persistent than a case of aggressive athlete's foot. All of the Defenders will become a target. This leaves an opening for not only solo situations, but the need for teamwork to deal with it, correct? Bouncing back to her relationship, and besides, if you bring back Defenders, I mean, who's going to replace Jessica Jones? It wouldn't even make any sense. Bouncing back to her relationship with Luke Cage, not only is their lovely caramel baby missing, as they certainly had one named Danielle in the comics, and Squirrel Girl becoming the babysitter. That's right, sure did. But at the end of the Luke Cage series, it looked to be leading into a situation where Luke Cage would end up either needing help, not turning dark, or proving that he hadn't become a criminal. Almost every hero character goes through the phase where they lose their way and need help from those around them to either have the sense knocked into them or give a hand to help them climb out of the pit they've fallen into. True, indeed. Though it wouldn't need to just focus on Luke and Jessica and could involve all of the Defenders, it wouldn't make sense for her to be not involved. I agree. To not be involved. I agree. With the likes of Matt Murdock and Jennifer Walters, also known as Daredevil and She-Hulk, a private eye that wouldn't have the same limitations of someone who can be easily taken out by cut breaks or other hazards that come with investigations, would be the perfect go-to. Indeed. Yeah, I can definitely see Matt Murdock, the Daredevil, and Jennifer Walters, the She-Hulk, including Jessica Jones in quite a few things. I mean, they did in the comics, so it could definitely happen here. Not to mention, she has already built up rapport with Daredevil, which would lead to her being an easy go-to when he's unable to investigate a situation completely on his own. Absolutely. That so should be happening. The feeling left after watching the series is that though Purple Man was supposedly defeated, there were hints to show that he wasn't completely out of the story. Indeed. There is also Hellcat to think about. During the Defenders, there was a big opening for things to lead in the direction of the Daughters of the Dragon. Yeah, absolutely. Colleen Wing and Misty Knight and Jessica Jones. Yeah. And that was from UCU Family Ninja, Mama Nin. Yeah, I definitely agree with all of that coming from Mama Nin. So as you see, I'm not the only one who disagrees with this. We may do another video about this as well. maybe a let's talk. I think some people don't even realize all of the characters that were introduced in the Jessica Jones series, quite a few of them. So if you cut off Jessica Jones, then those characters, I don't know, it limits the chance that any of the fans who liked those characters or seen this series will get to see them again. Or maybe it will cut them off as a resource to even use. I don't know. I guess they could come in a different way. Maybe some people won't realize who they were already. You know, let's get more deeper into this. Let's see if we can prove that Jessica Jones is too rich of a character to not include in the Defenders Saga comeback on Disney Plus, shall we? I'll be right back.
If you could trade Power's abilities with another Defender, who would it be? I happen to think that Jessica has the best power, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep Jessica's. Does Mike Coulter actually have solid yellow shirts in his closet? I don't know if he has solid yellow shirts in his closet, but I will say that Mike Coulter comes to work dolled up head to toe. He's got the shoes, he's got the hat, he's got some bling. He looks like a low-key Jamie Foxx. But not Loki. Will we see Jessica and Luke together again? You will see Jessica and Luke together again. Yep. You will, because we are the Defenders. That's all I can say about that. Who makes you laugh the most on set? I have to say that is probably the best part about the show. We laugh 2 tears 4 or 5 times a day. I would say everyone's really funny, but it's probably me and Mike that do the most laughing. Yeah, we get into a little trouble. What's the best thing to do between takes? Usually stay in character, hang out, and have a lot of fun. On this show, we 100% break character and have a lot of fun in between. It goes from like super serious and badass and cool to like completely insane laughing. So that's cool. That is not the case on Jessica Jones. It's just different material. So are Matt and Jessica ever going to get along? Matt and Jessica have a really fun dynamic, and I think that, yes, I think they will get along, and I think they're going to become best friends. Which Defenders would win in a dance-off? In a dance-off, I will say, which Defender? Definitely not Jessica. Let's just get that out of the way. In real life, it'd probably be Finn. And I'm
back. Well, before we get into this next segment, please take the time to like, subscribe, get it rumbling, and comment down below if you would like. And please hit that notification bell to make sure you get notified, because we are heavily shadow banned and censored. And share this video. If you like anything in this video at all, please share it, because we need as much help as possible getting around the shadow banning and censorship. This was coming at us from Comic Vine, some intel from there. I found an article I liked that they were doing that helps also prove how rich and in-depth of a character Jessica Jones is and how we need her. This is relating directly to the Netflix TV show of Jessica Jones that we were talking about. And this is back in 2015, and this is a review on the first 7 episodes of the series. And it's an amazing series. Anyway, why Jessica Jones will be your next favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe show. Posted by Tony G. Mangarero on November 18th, 2015. Jessica Jones is far from your typical Marvel Cinematic Universe show or movie. Note, we've only seen the first 7 episodes of the series. This will be a spoiler-free review, so there you go, no spoilers. Hot off the heels of Daredevil, Jessica Jones is ready to be unleashed upon the world as the next Marvel Netflix original series. Jessica Jones is not a happy person. We're used to much more humor injected into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but this is pretty bleak. We're thrown right in the middle of her story. While we do get hints of where she came from throughout the series, this isn't your typical origin story. She's in a real bad place. She's practically isolated herself from the few friends she has and focuses on trying to get by while working as a private investigator. She may have some superpowers, but not even that can help her overcome what has happened. The great thing about this show is it doesn't try to be like anything we've already seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Exactly, that's why we need it so much. One might expect it be heavy on trying to capture the essence of what made Daredevil a success on Netflix, but it clearly heads down its own path. Jessica is a pretty harsh person. It's not surprising she's alienated those around her. She's just focused on getting by. She solves her cases and uses the money to buy booze, and she sure does. It's her way of dealing with her past. For a character with superpowers, it's interesting to see how they often sit in the back seat. When the show starts out, we have no idea how she got them. When she does use them, she doesn't worry about being seen because she figures no one will believe the person. The person that told them. Jessica comes across as far from being a hero as possible. Indeed. She uses her powers to threaten others, drink lots and lots. She curses and she'll basically do whatever she wants. Deep down, there is some goodness to her. She mainly focuses on the job she's on. It's really her way to avoid dealing with the PTSD from something that happened to her a year ago. As the show moves on, we see more of her, the hero that once was inside her. That's right, especially by season 3 when she truly accepts and becomes a hero. What exactly happened isn't mentioned right away. We get glimpses of it. The way it's presented, there's a bit of creep factor going on. Jessica's completely on the edge. If you thought Daredevil went to dark places, this one goes a lot further. You see what I mean? The show doesn't just focus on the dark and depressing life of Jessica. There are some others in her life that adds to the show. A lot of rich characters, a lot of great well-written characters. Trish Walker, Patsy from the comics, is really her only friend based on her shared past. Trish, played by Rachel Taylor, phenomenal work, girl. Knows Jessica better than anyone. She's the type of friend that will go to any lengths to have Jessica's back, even if it means getting over her head. The great thing about her is she's more than just a background or supporting character. Most definitely. She could have her own series. As episodes unfold, we start to see more of the Trish's story as well. Trish in her past plays an important role in Jessica's story as well. Along with Trish, we also have Carrie-Anne Moss as Jerry Hogarth. Yeah, that's a great character too. And she's all throughout the Defender saga and all of the different series. And we should see more of her, I would imagine. I would hope so, because it was so well done. I'm wanting to know if she's going to survive her sickness, but let me not get into that in case you haven't seen this. Hogarth is a high-powered attorney who sometimes gives Jessica work and can be a powerful ally. Mike Coulter makes some appearances as Luke Cage. Indeed he did. There is a connection, but because of the state of where Jessica is at, she comes in like a tornado into his life. There are also secrets and lies hovering around. Has it been revealed whether or not Luke has his powers from the comics? We'll just leave that part out for now. He does give a good performance. Indeed he did. And that's why he has his own show. Luke Cage, gotta see it. Then there's David Tennant as Kilgrave. Wow. This is a completely despicable character. Yes, he was. Not making a huge actual appearance in the beginning, you definitely feel his presence though. He's the cause of Jessica's current state of being, having the power to make anyone do anything he tells them to. You can imagine how horrid of a person he can be. Yes, indeed. Horrible. We may not get the full specifics of everything that went down, at least in the beginning of the series, but you get enough to know just what Jessica is going through. And there's a lot. His actions and presence will leave you with a sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach. Jessica may not come across as most likable person in the beginning, but you'll soon understand exactly why she is the way she is. The show is seriously business. It's serious business. They're not messing around. The tone in adult situations really sets the show apart from anything we've seen in the cinematic universe. Yes, indeed. The language, drinking, sexual situations, and overall vibe of the show makes its own and really captures the feel of Brian Michael Bennett's Alias series. yeah, I'm ready to see it go into Alias after they finish with hopefully more Jessica Jones. It's also interesting to see a series with pretty much all the characters in power being female. Most of the characters in the Marvel movies have been male, and it's refreshing to see a series take a different approach instead of just giving us more of the same. Indeed, and they succeeded at that. Powerful cast. Jessica Jones is a must-watch series. With the show's darker and mature approach, you need to be prepared for where it's going to take you. This isn't like the other Marvel properties we've seen adapted on the big screen and small screen. Kristen Ritter is fantastic as the title character. She may come across as an unlikable character in the beginning, but the more you see of her and her plight, you won't be able to resist falling for her. Indeed, and we all did. We love it. If you have plans to take the series slowly and watch episodes one at a time, it's likely you'll end up binge watching it to find out what happens next. The series gets better and better with each episode. And I might add, after you've seen all the series and you come back a few years later and watch again, it's even better. That was coming at us from Comic Vine. That's comicvine.gamespot. comicvine.gamespot.com. Yeah. Now let's see what we can find. We'll dive into the character a little bit to show him more why Jessica Jones is such a phenomenal character, and we were actually lucky to finally see this character brought to the actual cinema. Okay, this one's at Comic Vine. That's comicvine.gamespot.com. comicvine.gamespot.com. She appears in 779 issues. A superhero turned private investigator, Jessica is married to Luke Cage. You hear that? Married to Luke Cage. Luke Cage back without Jessica Jones. Don't you think that would be weird? Jessica is married to Luke Cage and his mother of Danielle, their infant daughter. Moving right down to the origin. This is a picture of her as Nitrous, I think. Yep, Nitrous. Let's read a little bit about this. That's one of my favorite versions of Jessica Jones. I like her uniform when she was Nitrous. Very short time she was Nitrous. Jessica Campbell was just about to speak to her crush Peter Parker. I forgot to mention that her connection to Spider-Man. In fact, if I remember right, she actually went to school with Peter Parker. And they were going to be a thing, I believe, until something happened. I can't remember. But it might have it here, because this is just starting to talk about the mighty Spidey. Peter Parker, before being distracted by the spider bite that gave him his powers while going home, she and her partners and her parents are in their family car when it collided to a military truck that is carrying radioactive chemical. And a legend was born. Spider-Man. Her parents were killed and Jessica slipped into a coma. She was then adopted by the Jones family, and she woke up from her coma during the time of coming of Galactus to Earth to feast on the planet. She was enrolled back to Midtown High School. I think that's where they went together. I might be wrong. We'll find out in a second. Midtown High School, where she was at the receiving end of bullying by Flash Thompson. I forgot about that. Peter felt empty towards Jessica as he grew up with his true parents, but Jessica lashed out to him because she thought that he was pitying her. And Jessica Jones ain't one to pity. She's strong as all she can be. It was at this time that the exposure from the radioactive chemicals gave her powers. As the superhero Jewel, that's another alias she had a brief career thwarting crime. During one of her adventures, she ran into the mind-controlling Purple Man. He took control of her life and used her in many unpleasant ways. Yes, he did. And they show some of it in the Jessica Jones TV series, seasons 1 and 2. He eventually tried to use her to kill Daredevil, but instead she attacked the first person she saw in a red costume, which happened to be the Scarlet Witch. Wow, don't remember that at all. After a fight with the Avengers, they helped to free her of mind control and even offered her a place on the roster. That's right, she was an Avenger before. She declined, quite disturbed by the abuse of Purple Man inflicted on her. Wow. But yeah, she was a member of A-Force, which is an Avenger team, all-female Avengers team. Saddened by the fact that no one noticed that she had gone missing for 8 months, Jessica gave up being a superhero and started the Alias private detective agency working for superheroes and related clients, including Matt Murdock. You see what I'm saying? Creation of the character. Jessica Jones was a character created by Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Gaidos to star in Marvel series called Alias. After Bendis decided that his original idea of using Spider-Woman Jessica Drew just wouldn't work for continuity and storytelling reasons, as such, Jones made her debut appearance in Alias issue 1 in 2001, with a backstory that made her something of a retcon character, being shown appearing at the same high school as Peter Parker and having a crush on him. And Jessica Jones is an extremely popular character, even rivaling Daredevil when you think about it, because she's everywhere, and she's in like every Marvel video game almost, and a great multitude of them, either playable character or they show her in a cutscene or something. Jessica Jones and some female Avengers. Character evolution. Let's go into some of this. Jessica Jones and some female Avengers. Jessica Jones as a character has had a hard time establishing herself in the Marvel Universe, both in the comic stories themselves and from a storytelling perspective too. Her creation as a retcon character with a few friends in the superhero community is the first part of this problem, but she has gradually worked her way into becoming a mainstream hero. She definitely did. She's been mainstream so long, I don't remember when she wasn't. Many of the stories that feature her depict her struggle with fully taking on the role of a hero due to her tragic experience with Purple Man and anxiety over how best to look after her baby daughter. But together with her husband Luke Cage, Jessica became a central figure in the new Avengers lineup and finally found a place to call home and a defining purpose. So she found a defining purpose and a place to call home finally. As the Avengers went through multiple roster changes, Jessica would settle down with her family, returning to her private investigation office. So ultimately, sounds like that's where she ends up. Major story arc, Nitrous. She tried to reinvent herself as the Nitrous. She met Luke Cage in Iron Fist when she helped take down the Owl. She left that alias behind after her first night out in the new costume when she revealed her identity to the police to get 2 mafia kids to stay the night at her place until social service took them. Alias Investigations. And that's a picture there. I love the art in the Alias comics. Fantastic. Jones attempted to retire from the superhero life by opening a private investigation agency. However, this just got her more involved with superhero world, sure did, when she was hired to find a number of missing people. At least 2 of her missing person causes were related to anti-mutant sentiment. Mutants! She was also hired to find James Lucas, the father of Luke Cage, who she also entered into an on and off romantic relationship with. She was hired to track down Rick Jones, but only found an imposter running around New York. And she was hired to find Spider-Girl, whose disappearance was related to a MGH drug ring. Not familiar with that drug or what that is, MGH Mafia or something perhaps. One of the biggest cases was when she was hired by a political campaign manager to find a girl. That girl happened to be Captain America's girlfriend and turned up dead. No! The campaign manager was hoping to tarnish the reputation of Captain America to put pressure on the president, while all she ended up doing was putting Jones in the crosshairs of the killer Man Mountain Marco. Marco? Are they talking about the Juggernaut? Man Mountain Marco. Who knows? It was also during this time that she was forced to confront the Purple Man again. After he escaped from the raft during a riot, he started stalking Jessica. He made her see Scott Lang. Scott Lang, and that's the current version of Ant-Man we have, Scott Lang. Her current boyfriend in the compromising ways, including dead and sexually involved in her close friends. He also caused mob violence in the streets to get the attention of the Avengers, so that he could command Jones to beat one of them to death. Wow. This backfired when a Jean Grey implanted a psychic block kicked in, and Jones beat him within an inch of his life instead. Surprise, Purple Man! Surprise! Jean Grey put the block in. They caught him with the fake and flush, knocked him out. In the aftermath, Jones found out she was pregnant with Luke's baby. This caused Scott to leave her, Scott Lang, the Ant-Man, but when she confessed to Luke, Luke reacted positively. They would later marry, the Pulse. Despite a fraught relationship, when he hired her for some PI work, J.J. Jameson, you know who that is. J.J. Jameson hired Jones to work on the Daily Bugle's new magazine, called The Pulse, another way she could appear or be involved in, about superheroes. Because they keep bringing James Jameson back, but he is kind of critical in Spider-Man, I guess, yeah. So it'd be odd not to have him back. But, hey, Jessica Jones. He believed his business was struggling thanks to his antagonistic opinion of superheroes and needed fresh blood to investigate them. Jones would work as a researcher for writer Ben Urich. This gave her the opportunity for stable income and health benefits for her expected child. Their biggest story came when Ben got his hands on evidence of that Oscorp employees were disappearing. And the company CEO, Norman Osborn, which is also a big, the Green Goblin's a big Jessica Jones villain too, I think. We had a few conflicts. Anyway, Norman Osborn was in fact the Green Goblin. Jameson reluctantly moved forward with the story as long as they first shared the evidence with the police. Unfortunately, they were attacked by the Green Goblin for interfering, worrying Jones that she may have complicated her pregnancy in the fight. No, Spider-Man was able to get her to the hospital where they confirmed the baby was healthy. But an irate Luke Cage attacked Green Goblin, I bet he did, back leading to Osborn's public reveal and arrest. Great. Do what you gotta do, Luke. Messing with your family. Do what you gotta do. Let's look at this. Secret Invasion. Didn't Kevin Feige not say that they will be doing Secret Invasion? Jessica Jones is in Secret Invasion. There's so many ends. There's no way to keep her out. Just give it up. Secret Invasion. Baby girl. Ah, that's their baby Danielle right there. If you look at this picture here. Oh, look at it, so cute. She got to dress like, they got clothes on her like she's from the Runaways. Reminds me of, I can't remember her name right now. It has been speculated that Jessica might be a Skrull because her baby lit her eyes with a green flash. After the New Avengers fought and defeated the Hood's gang, she feared for her safety and her baby as she goes to see Iron Man to register. When a Skrull ship crash lands in the Savage Land, can't wait till we see the Savage Land on the big screen, that's gonna be great. The Avengers go out to investigate. What is inside the ship are what appear to be a number of pre-existing heroes, including Jessica in her jewel costume. This Jessica is later revealed to be a Skrull and is killed along with the heroes from the Skrull ship. The real Jessica Jones is present in the final battle between the Earth's heroes and villains fighting together against the invading Skrull Empire. After the Skrulls loose, the Skrull that masqueraded as Jarvis kidnaps her child and disappears. Luke Cage and Jessica later find their baby with Norman Osborn's help. Wow, that's wild. Need I say more? Such a rich character with rich story. She has to be brung back. They did the Defenders. I think at that point, and then the way season 3 was, it was too late not to include her in what's coming next. She earned it. Very successful show. She definitely earned it. Now, let's hear a little bit about her when she was with the Defenders. And this picture here is the version of Defenders we know about. Danny Rand, the Iron Fist, Luke Cage, aka Power Man, Jessica Jones, and Matt Murdock, Daredevil. With Diamondback, Willis Stryker, inexplicably back from the dead and with superpowers, if Stryker comes back with superpowers, then he would need that suit he fought Luke Cage with no more. That would be really odd. I would like to know what kind of powers he had when he came back. I don't remember it. He targets Jessica and her friends Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Daredevil. They decided to work together to flush Stryker out and defend their city. Unfortunately, that means clashing with the Punisher, gunning for Stryker, avoiding Black Cat's gang, dealing with Stryker, and many trips to Night Nurse's clinic. Haha, Night Nurse. That was played by Rosario Dawson, who has many run-ins with Jessica Jones. They're finally able to track him down when he shoots Black Cat, causing the Crazy Pants gang war. Jessica Jones' words, with those jumpsuit mafia people. Maybe that's what they're talking about. Crazy Pants gang war? Yeah, I guess their pants was kind of crazy. With their combined strengths, they are able to beat Stryker and get him arrested. Jessica and her new team will have the gang war to contend with, mixing it up with Elektra, Deadpool, the Punisher again, and Stryker still. Luckily, with help from a bunch of allies, they take down an amped up Stryker. We'll check in a little more. As you see, Jessica Jones is a very compelling character, and they've shown too much of her not to bring her back. It's too late now, they're too deep. Purple Daughter, the Shield, Agents of Shield, Anyway, after Shield fell apart during Secret Empire, Purple Man escaped custody, irritating Jessica Jones. Kilgrave was obsessed with approaching her peacefully to prove himself worthy of being in her life, including many deranged acts like mind controlling Carol Danvers into beating him to death. Wow. Carol Danvers, you know what that is, Captain Marvel. After which, so he never comes back. Carol throws his body into the sun. Sadly, Purple Man left one last surprise for Jessica. Whoa, Danny turns purple. Oh no, did he inject the baby with his disgusting Purple Man power? Danielle Cage is now purple. Luke Cage starts to doubt he's her father. Oh no, such drama. Carol doubts she threw the right body into the sun, and Jessica blames herself. Wow. To find Purple Man, she sought out Kara, Kilgrave's daughter. Kara sends Jessica to a self-help group, which includes a member who later winds up dead. While investigating the death, she is confronted by purple children who swore they were on her side. Wow, that's creepy. They wanted to protect her, but ultimately they pointed her in the right direction. Okay. She was sent to a brownstone where Jess had to fight through a horde of mind-controlled drones, including Luke Cage. Oh wow, must have been LMDs, life model decoys. You know, like Nick Fury likes to replace him until he returns, and you know, to make it seem like he's one place when he's actually another. Can never find a real Nick Fury. You know the whole thing if you know Nick Fury. She eventually came into a room with a drugged Purple Man and his son, Benjamin. Benjamin didn't have his father's powers innately like his other children. However, he was able to reverse engineer it from his father's blood. Ben mind controlled Jess and Luke into being his idyllic traditional parents. Wow. That would be pretty wild. That's some WandaVision crazy stuff. That's as sci-fi as WandaVision right there. Can you imagine that? A season of that? This guy mind controlling them into thinking they're his legit parents. Wow. Purple Man was able to break through the psychic delusion to take over Jess's body, since his body was still sedated, to fight Ben. After Ben was incapacitated, Purple Man confessed that he turned Danny purple so that Jessica would come looking for him and save him. Luckily, the purple children were really on Jess's side and psychically overwhelmed Purple Man. Wow, so all the purple children teamed up to overcome the Purple Man. But that's quite a bit of Jessica Jones. Let us know how you feel. Do you feel that Jessica Jones can be ignored? Can Kristen Ritter's desire to return as the character be ignored? Can all the loose ends and gaps and connections to all of the characters that they're planning on bringing back in the Defender sagas be ignored? Can they? Do you think it would be okay for us to see these characters return and not question, where is Jessica Jones? I know I don't. But let us know what you think. And this has been your latest one news and deep dive into Jessica Jones, baby. Let us know how you feel. But until then, I'll be sniffing around. And if I find something stupid like this again, I'll be sure to destroy it. But remember, you and we are comics, baby. I'll catch you again.
Copyright disclaimer. Citation of articles and authors in this report does not imply ownership. Works and images presented here fall under Fair Use Section 107 and are used for commentary on globally significant newsworthy events. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Community Guidelines Disclaimer. The points of view and purpose of this video is not to bully or harass anyone, but rather share that opinion and thoughts with other like-minded individuals curious about the subject.